I'm Thrylls. In this episode we take you deep into the vast and unforgiving terrain of the Black Hills of South Dakota, where early settlers and native tribes once had to fight to survive. Here we'll have to face a multitude of challenges. I'm being dropped in via Ford Focus and my camera crew are coming with me. Even being dropped in a location like this is extremely treacherous. All the roads lead off to 100-foot sheer drops. And of course, there's many duck crossings. But landfowl is just one worry here. The landscape is sharp rock formations surrounded by miles of impenetrable pine forest. Aggressive predators roam this area and are a constant danger. After being dropped, I take my first steps into the Black Hills. You've always got to have a sort of sixth sense about you, you know? Remembering that there are many things you can't perceive, and you've always got to be wary of them. This is high bear territory, and of course there's the poisonous snakes, the many inhospitable plants. This is a land of myth, legend, and lore, and you never do know what you're going to find out here. Soon I come across a small lake in the mountains. Hopefully this will be a viable source of water. Right, well, obviously this fresh water is not exactly fresh, is it? It's pretty murky and scummy. Now, we're going to have to boil some of that later, but of course for the time being, luckily, I've got backup. Let's go, right? Well rested and hydrated, we press along to the rock face, but not before making a vital discovery. It's over here, this large hole in the rock, you see. This actually is the very hole where, in Jesus Christ Superstar 1973, do you remember it? It's where the leper is crawling out of the hole. He's got pantyhose on his hands, do you remember? This is that very hole, in fact. It is the place where the leper crawled out. Moving forward into a cavern, more peril lurks. You've got to watch your footing here, but there's a lot of very interesting. If you pan up there, Jerry, you can see that there's all these rocks which have been trapped here. They could easily come toppling down onto us. Now, we've got to be very careful, of course, and we've got to always press on. And mind you, if we speak too loudly in this cavern now, these things could easily fall down upon us. And we've got to be very wary, of course. The medicinal quality of the forest plants cannot be underestimated. Now we've come across this plant here, and if you notice, this plant is the, you can always tell from the spiral shape here, this is the common mullein. You see, what the Native Americans of the Sioux tribe used to do was they'd simply break off one of these leaves, you see, and they'd chew it for at least a couple of minutes, and it's a great cure for, the common cold, gingivitis. But we've got to keep moving, yeah? Come on. As the daylight wanes, it becomes imperative that we make camp. This spot will do nicely. You see, all these pine needles surrounding the area are perfect for using for tinder, you see. And these are what we're going to build our fire out of tonight. The following morning, I've reached the top of a treacherous climb, which was at best abysmal. Well, that was not just a walk in the park now, was it? Alright, well, now that we've gotten here, I believe that is our next destination, which, mind you, that's easily 12,000 feet in the air. And, yeah, as you can see, sheer rock faces, my favourite. Let's give it a go, eh? This one is a doozy. My initial reaction was to tackle the challenge, but as I get closer to this monolith on these conveniently paved walkways, I begin to comprehend its magnitude. I decide a day's rest will be necessary to make the climb. Right, well, the ascent is tomorrow, so we ought to make camp very soon here. I think I found the right place here, this little ledge, this lovely little bed of rock, which we can always just sort of, make a shelter in. Tomorrow, though, we climb the beast. now the moment of truth. I begin to climb this outrageous obelisk without the aid of gear or ropes, with no concept of what I'll do once I reach the top. But a truly epic panoramic view of these forests from the top will be worth the effort.